Hi everybody, I'm Mrs. Goodell, and I first want to say I'm sorry that I'm not here with you tonight, but it's my son's back to school night, and not only is he in kindergarten, but he's my oldest, so it's my introduction to the whole school district, so I just had to be there tonight. So again, I am very sorry that I'm not with you here tonight, but I just wanted to explain to you a little bit about my class and my philosophy, and basically say to you through this what I would have said had I been there. Um, First of all, my philosophy about teaching history. There are some basic facts that I would like them to have when they leave my room about our country's history. You know, the big picture, where things fall in the grand scheme of things. You know, what came first in our history, who was here first, and those kinds of things. But so much has changed in our world that the information that you and I used to have to go to a library and looking up in an encyclopedia or, ask an expert, it's now at their fingertips. So my philosophy is that I want to show them how to get the information, how to get the valid information, how to distinguish between what is valid and what is just somebody going, on a rant on a website, and how to use that in some way. What are we going to do with that information once we have it? How are we going to make sense of it? How can we do something important with it? Um, so the way that it will work is usually we'll begin with a discussion about whatever the unit is, some sort of brainstorming, some sort of, what does this mean? What is this all about? And that will usually be done as a whole class situation. For example, they hopefully came home and talked to you a little bit about their family, their family's heritage. Where do they fit in the whole immigration picture? Do you identify yourself as Irish, Italian, Japanese? Where do you identify yourself and your family? So that's how I try to get them to make some sort of connection to the unit. And we talked about that as a class. I had the kids, work in groups and sort of compare their information. And some groups, it was funny, would say, every single one of us shares one ethnicity, and then other groups would say we have absolutely nothing in common. So it was very fun to have that discussion with them. Then we make some sort of modern day connection. Why does this matter in 2013? So what we've been working with is the U.S. legal permanent resident information from 2011. It's statistics. It's explaining why people come here, how you can come here, where people settle once they get here, what's the median age range, what are countries of origin, all those kinds of things. So we're just using the statistics to get a better picture of what a modern immigrant looks like. Um, from there, I will introduce them to some sort of problem, some sort of task, and that's how I do a lot of my teaching, is through solving a problem. There's this new thing in education called a PBL, which is a problem-based learning. So through the problem they've been given, they have to manipulate the resources and figure out a way to solve the problem. Um, After we talk about modern immigration, I will set them up with a problem. They will have to look at what it was in American throughout our history, our country's history, and sort of make some comparisons between what's going on today in immigration and what has happened throughout our country's history. Um, they will talk about what's similar, what's different, and in some cases, if they want to take it there, they can even look at Obama's plan to reform immigration, and they can say, do they agree, disagree, where they want to go with that. Um, they will study the unit. So we will look at Native Americans, we will look at the colonists, we'll look at the Irish and the Germans in the 1800s, the major wave of immigration, the whole Ellis Island experience that happened at the turn of the 20th century, the Italians, the Polish, the Russians. And then we will look at, again, modern immigration and how we have a new major wave of immigration of mostly Asians and people from Latin America. Through the way they will study that is through all different things. We do lots of skits in here, plays, we do discussions, we do readings, we have them write some plays, have them write some dialogue. So through all different activities, we will learn about the different Americans throughout our history, and they will pull it all together in that task that I had told them about before we started studying everybody. There will be quizzes and tests, but that is not the main focus. What can you do with the information? What can you explain to me about the information that you have studied? Um, you know, the Irish would go to stores looking for jobs, and it would say NINA, no Irish need apply. Well, there was a huge backlash against them for coming. People didn't want them coming into the country in the mid 1800s. They were afraid because they were Catholic and they would follow the Pope. Well, what are some people saying about immigrants today? What are the fears of immigrants today? Let's compare the two time periods. Let's look and say, okay, immigrants face similar things. They're coming for the same reasons. They're coming for the freedom. They're coming for the job opportunities. But they're also facing a backlash from the people who are already here. And oftentimes, the group that was persecuted prior is now persecuting the new immigrants. So these are all the things I want them to see. I do want them to walk away with an understanding of the three major waves of immigration, when those waves were, where people were coming from during those waves. So those are the facts that I would like them to walk away from this unit with, but I want them to walk away with an understanding, a big picture of what immigration is all about. So that's one example. That's the first unit we will do, but it's the same type of methodology that I will use for each of the units. Introduce them, connect them, talk about why it matters today, go back, study the history, pull it all together with some sort of task, some sort of problem. Everything they do in here has a point value, and those points can range anywhere from 5 points to 150 points depending on the type of assignment. So if they had a homework where they had to answer a question or two, I will check it. Did you do it? Did you complete it? Okay, 5 points. Did you not? 0 out of 5. The larger the assignment, the more points. So if it's a major project, it can be worth 120 points, 125 points. Tests are about 100, quizzes are about 40 or 50. Little things they do in class could be 20 points, 25 points. It totally depends on what the actual assignment is. They usually know going into it how many points something will be worth, at least approximately. You take the total number of points that they could have earned, and you divide, well, the total number of points they did earn divided by the total number of points they could have earned. That's their marking period grade. So when you look on the PowerSchool, you'll see like a 4 out of 5 or a 15 out of 16 or something like that. But then what really matters is the total number of points. So they could do poorly on an assignment or two, and it's not going to matter because it's the point value, not the percentage. There is no extra credit that I give as a general assignment, but if there is an assignment and the student goes above and beyond, I always give extra credit. If they blow me away with what they presented, I always tack on a few extra points if everything else looks good. The textbook that we use is a resource. It's not the resource, and that's what I tell them, that we leave it in our lockers until you need it. For the immigration unit, we probably won't touch the textbook until I need them to get some facts about a particular wave of immigration. I use all these different resources like this I got from the government, statistics from the government. This is an immigration story that some of the students are going to read. Each student will get a different immigrant story to read and share with the class. So I try to pull as much as I can from sources beyond just the textbook. If you have any questions at all, any comments, anything you want to know more about, please feel free to email me. I have my email on my phone. I check my email over the weekend. If you have anything at all that you want to communicate with me, any questions you have, please contact me via the email. Thank you.